You're watching ICENET, independently covering New York Islanders hockey past and present, bringing you the tradition and nostalgia you know and love with a modern feel. This is where Islanders tradition and pride are always our number one. Built by passion for the orange and blue. Isles coverage. Taking a step into the future by reaching into the past. ICENET. Dynasties live here.
With an opportunity, second chance opportunities. They need more of those type of plays to crash a net on Robin Leonard. So the start is obviously always very important, but I think the Penguins want to get their defensemen involved, cause a little confusion in the offensive zone, and look for second and third chance opportunities and try to get the lead. They got to worry about winning the first period, right. Nothing else.
And so defense is a 7-letter word. For Barry Trotz and the Islanders, it takes 6 guys. It's the goalie, it's the defense, but the forwards have been so huge in this too.
Well, they have, and they know it's a 200-foot game. It's not 140-foot. Let your goaltender make the save. Worry about your defenseman to move up the puck. It is about that. Look, this is Malkin all by himself. Now, the Penguins are in a change on that play, but the Islanders, 4 guys back here. Again, Islanders 5 men back. One-on-one situations. The Islanders will take that all day long. Keep the Penguins to the outside. Josh Bailey does a nice job of coming back from defense, turns to the offense. So look, you can turn offensive opportunities from good defensive play, like the goal from Brock Nelson. The Islanders are in the driver's seat here in Game 4, Mike.
Led by their captain, Anders Lee, the Islanders go for the sweep of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby off the score sheet all series. He'll talk to Bush. Face-off of the Anthems, all next.
The Stanley Cup playoffs on NBCSN are brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. By SAP, visit NHL.com/stats with insights from SAP. And by Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil, proven protection for 250,000 miles. With home ice for the first time in 31 years.
Bailey scores! And it's Bedlam on Long Island! Here is Eberle moving in. He scores! The New York Islanders win Game 2.
Hockey was alive again at Nassau Coliseum. A change in venue brought the Penguins hope.
Shoots one, deflection, score! And the Penguins strike first.
But the Islanders remained unfazed and continued their winning ways.
The Islanders take a commanding 3-0 lead.
On the verge of a playoff sweep, can the Penguins make one last stand tonight? Usually you don't. It's happened between these teams. 1975, it was the Islanders who were down 0-3 and came back and beat the Penguins. It's happened twice in the last 9 years, in 2010 and in 2014 in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Islanders. Although it would be great for their fans to see them celebrate at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, they want no part of that. They'd like to end this series here tonight. Islanders trying to sweep a series since they won their 4th cup back in 1983. So a third of a century of Islander history could be made here tonight if they're able to get Game 4. Fans inside have been loud. They are going to try to give their Penguins a boost. They tried to do it in Game 3 on Sunday. The Penguins never really played with their hair on fire. The Islanders do a lot to do that. They mute your energy as the Islanders take the ice here for Game 4. led by Robin Leonard and led by Matt Murray. The Penguins come down the tunnel. Will it be for the final time this year? Or can they grab some airline tickets and airline seats and head back to Long Island for Game 5 on Thursday?
You know, Mike, I think the Penguins getting a lead in Game 3 as they did, needing to stretch that, get the crowd into it, force the Islanders to come out of their comfort zone again, as we've emphasized in the pregame and the open. Get this to that type of game for the Penguins.
And Sidney Crosby standing by with Brian Boucher.
Thank you very much, Mike. Sidney, yourself and Jake Gensel, pointless through 3 games. What more do you guys have to do to break out here tonight?
Just execute. We got to find a way to get a loose puck or a rebound or an ugly one somehow, but we got to find a way.
Being down 3-0, there's no more room for error. What was the message before coming out?
Just win a game. That's got to be our mindset. We don't have to complicate it. Just got to find a way to come out here and execute and win a hockey game.
Thanks, Sidney. Mike?
All right, Boosh, thank you. To your left, Barry Trotz, the head coach of the Islanders, eliminated the Penguins last year as the Capitals run to a Stanley Cup title. Reached leg 2 of the 4-chapter verse. He'll try to do it to Mike Sullivan for the 2nd consecutive year. And Mike Sullivan, Stanley Cup title in 2016, 2017, eliminated by Washington, of course, last year. Trying to keep it simple, he said his group likes routine. That's why there's not a lot of twists to what they do. Some tweaks on the lines, but a lot of pairs are back together. Just change a wing here and there. The routine has stayed pretty much the same. Let's join the public address announcer, Ryan Mill.
Please welcome tonight's special Icy Light hometown hero of the game, Brandon Hines, a 2018 graduate of Pride Richland and member of their hockey team for 3 years. Brandon is here in memory of his brother, Sergeant Ben Hines of the United States Marine Corps, who bravely sacrificed his life last week in Afghanistan while protecting the freedom of the United States. We thank Sergeant Ben Hines and all members of the United States Armed Forces who've paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We ask you to please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag above the scoreboard and in the stands. Please welcome back the Penguins' own Mr. Jeff Jimerson as he performs the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Very emotional beginning to our Tuesday night here as we get set for Game 4 in Pittsburgh. Time now for tonight's Honda starting goalies. Barry Trotz said, I was in a unique position with 2 goalies I was comfortable with going to start the playoffs. He goes with Robin Leonard, had no playoff experience He's won his first 3 career playoff starts, and Pittsburgh's only scored 5 goals. Matt Murray's won the last 2 Stanley Cups that Pittsburgh has won between the pipes, doing those in his first 2 years in the league, and played a lot down the stretch, 20 of the last 21. See that save percentage when facing elimination. He'll have to come up with one of those big games tonight. So too will Sidney Crosby. He knows it. You heard it with Brian Boucher. Sidney Crosby off the score sheet. Go back to the final in 2016 to see a streak like this. Must change in all likelihood for Pittsburgh to extend this series here tonight. It's called the 4th line theoretically for the Islanders, but for the 4th straight game, they start with Cizikas, Clutterbuck, and Martin, and play will come back as it's called offsides right away. And so it's almost a disservice to call that trio a 4th line because of their ice time and their production.
Yeah, and the importance that they have is being an energy line, a line that can match up against any other team's 1 through 4 lines, and they accept and execute their roles, and that's what you need from role players, regardless of how little or how much they play.
Jared McCann's going to join Crosby off the draw here. The shot right away is taken by Murray, and Pittsburgh will bring it to center, and they'll go chase with Crosby heading back in there, of course, working with Jake Gensel. They keep those 2 together and change the wing with McCann out there for the point. Dumoulin drive goes wide. It'll be chased down by Letang for the Penguins. Back behind the net, Adam Pelech for the Islanders. He and Ryan Pollock have been a strong combo. Crosby takes away. Gensel a drive. He scores! 35 seconds in.
Well, we wanted to see when this top line was going to arrive. A change to the line. Jared McCann added to the left side, and the Penguins get to work. They get it deep and put pressure on the Islander defense, creating the turnover, and then eventually Jake Gensel gets it from a prime scoring area and rips it past Leonard.
The pinch in by Chris Letang, and look at the soft area Jake Gensel finds. He's back. He moves out. The play has stayed alive. And look how open Gensel is, because the Islanders turn it over and he goes short side high on Leonard. The exact start that the Penguins wanted. Let's see if they can add another one here.
This one jumped into the bench area, so play is stopped right away as that first line gets on the board early here. Brian for Pittsburgh.
Well, and the fact that Gensel is high, covering for Letang, who pinched down the wall, like you said, Edzo, put him in that prime scoring area, and you can see the flex on the stick. You're not going to find a more perfect shot than the one that Gensel just placed over the blocker of Leonard. Awfully difficult to beat a goaltender high blocker because the knob of the stick is there as well. Tremendous start here for the Penguins.
Jake Gensel, a 40-goal scorer on the season, and only 7 shots in the first 3 games. Gives Pittsburgh a 1-0 lead, and they keep it down here with Phil Kessel working with Brian Russ. End up getting Malkin from the point. The drive goes wide, and the Islanders try to get some offense and get settled, and Bailey brings it out. Here is Kunako coming in. His drive, the former Penguin, shoots it wide, and Pittsburgh back on it and will clear the zone. Marcus Pettersson moves it to center, sends it in. Malkin goes to chase, meets Nick Leddy back there. And the Islanders with some spaces, both teams change, bring it out in the person of Taves. Taves to center, it's poked forward. Islanders' #1 line is on now. Jordan Eberle has had a great series. He has it taken away. Simone working back there. It is worked free by Anders Lee, and the Islanders gain possession. Lee back behind the net, try to work it to the point, could not. Digging down low, Matthew Barzal, last year's Calder Trophy winner. And the Penguins will come clear. Great energy from Pittsburgh here at the start. Nick Bjugstad sends it in.
Good defensive play there from Jack Johnson on Barzal.
Bjugstad tries to storm the castle. It gets knocked away by the Islander defense. Good job by Taves. But Pittsburgh comes away. They are winning some early battles down low. Letang trying to keep it deep. It gets deflected. Here's Letang again. One more time, the Islanders knock it away. An odd man opportunity here for the Islanders. 2-on-1. They bring it in. And here is Eberle. Scores! Jordan Eberle continues his hot streak. Every game he's on the score sheet. And the Islanders one more time respond in this series. We are tied at 1.
Well, we talked about Letang and the good play he did on the first goal for the Penguins. He gets trapped right here. A good job by Mayfield to poke the puck from him, and then it's a 2-on-1. And the hot hand of Jordan Eberle continues as he puts it back where he came from, high glove.
All this puck's got to do here. Mayfield's a defenseman. Letang's got to get this puck in deep, but he tries to stick handle. Quick stick, 3 guys caught, now 4, 2-on-1. Barzal with the quick pass and the patience of Eberle. Just like his goal in Game 3. He got it, settled it down. This one he goes far side. The glove hand very low of Murray. In Game 3 he goes short side, and the Islanders answer right back.
That's the 3rd time that Eberle has the first goal of the game for the Islanders in this series. Extraordinary stuff, and that Pittsburgh lead very short-lived, just 1 minute and 34 seconds. Anthony Beauvillier comes in for the Islanders. They keep the pressure on, and they've been good after they score, getting opportunities against the Penguins in this series. Beauvillier able to keep it in, could not find Komarov. It comes out to the point. It deflects wide. Filppula back there. Valtteri Filppula, the former Red Wing, will send it to the point, and Pellet. His drive doesn't get through.
Good shot block there from Gensel in front of the net. Stick swinging with Beauvillier.
And Pittsburgh able to clear and able to change.
Incredible the way the Islanders have been able to respond all series long, even when Pittsburgh scores first. I mean, you talk about resiliency. This Islander team does not care what happens at the start of a hockey game. They've had an answer for every question that the Pittsburgh Penguins have thrown at them here so far.
We mentioned Pittsburgh only led for 3 minutes in the first 3 games of the series, and the Islanders make it short-lived here in Game 4. Garrett Wilson tried to get the headman pass, could not do it, and the puck comes back into the Pittsburgh zone. Marcus Pettersson working with Eric Branson, who had a goal earlier in this series.
Good finish hit there from Matt Martin at the end of a long shift.
Fans trying to get Pittsburgh right back in it. Bouncer sent on Leonard, easily turns it away, and the Islanders will move it up. 25-year-old from British Columbia, Devon Taves, trying to send Kuhnhackl in. It gets poked away, and Pittsburgh turns it the other way with Malkin. Malkin with speed. Malkin stops, spins, a backhander is stopped by Leonard. Dumoulin on it for Pittsburgh. Finds Kessel with a drive. Saved by Leonard. And poked to the corner, but Pittsburgh on it one more time. Here is Letang again. Pittsburgh getting aggressive here. Letang circles the cage and looking for anything. Nothing there, and the Islanders able to clog up that scoring zone and send it down. Icing is waved off as Pittsburgh comes back to get it. Dumoulin pushes it forward. Islanders take it away. So good in the neutral zone in this series. Anders Lee will send it in, and Barzal will go into chase. But the Penguins able to clean that up possession-wise, and Simone comes back for Pittsburgh, looking for Patrick Hornquist, who couldn't settle it. And New York will just clear the zone as the Penguins are back on it. Hornquist could not wait. Delayed offside is clean out of the zone, and the Islanders come back with it with Barzal at center. Pittsburgh winning a few more battles here early in this first period. This shot right on Leonard is stopped. Just under 5 minutes in, all tied at 1.
Well, an opportunity for Evgeny Malkin. Left-handed shot coming down the right wing boards, decides to spin around and go to his backhand. Good saving from our Reese's RoboCam. There you see Chris Letang. He tries to make a play. The good stick from Mayfield, and then the beautiful pass from Barzal, and the patience from Jordan Eberle. And yes, 4 goals in the first 4 games of the playoffs for Jordan Eberle. We've seen Letang up ice so far here early, Mike. He was involved on the goal 4. He was involved with the goal against, and then that next shift he was below the goal line trying to create some offense. So there's obviously good and bad when you get involved that much offensively from the back end.
The energy of elimination. This shot is deflected away by Leonard, and the Islanders will get Komarov to try to get it out of the zone. Could not. Boychuk has it for New York, and now the Islanders able to go back the other way. Here goes Leo Komarov getting into the zone. Crosby hounds him. He protects it, trying to get to Beauvillier, and Beauvillier cannot win the battle. Penguins come away with possession, and McCann, Crosby, and Gensel back out there for Pittsburgh. Jake Gensel, the goal scorer, just 35 seconds in to this opening period. Marcus Pettersson for Pittsburgh. They possess. Cullen throws it towards the net. It is gloved easily by Leonard, and play is stopped.
I think the mindset, just kind of finishing that thought on the Letang start, is you have to read and react. Sometimes it's okay to live the fight another day. It's okay to just get the puck down low and let your forwards do the work. And he's a highly skilled player. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. And you get in a situation, Mike, when you're down 3-0, sometimes you try to force plays there, and even the greatest players in the game, and Chris Letang is certainly one of the top defensemen in the entire National Hockey League, you force plays. And in that situation, the little extra play, and give Mayfield credit. Great technique, good stick, and the Islanders make a pay.
Islanders win this defensive zone faceoff. Cizikas has done an outstanding job with faceoffs. This one poked back towards the net. And Goodbranson able to get on it, but has it taken away. In front, Cizikas. His shot is stopped. Back to the point. Islanders keep it in. Working across. And the stick breaks on the shot opportunity by Mayfield, who desperately tries to avoid the odd man rush. Pushed it forward. Pens play it, so play continues. Mayfield has a new twig. And the puck belongs to the Islanders as they push it down. And across ice it comes.
What a big-time save there from Matt Murray after the big collision below the goal line by Matt Murray. Forces a turnover, by Matt Martin, and Matt Murray with the big-time stop.
And it's incredible that fourth line we call it for the Islanders still has no points, considering how effective they've been in this series with the way they forecheck.
Nick Leddy with a good defensive rush there and a whistle back behind the play. And play is stopped.
Looks like too many men on the ice for the Penguins here, Mike.
It is. Power play coming up. Early goals. We've had an interesting start here. 2 goals in the first 2:09. We are tied at 1 in this game 4. And Eddie Olczyk, it will be a power play for the Islanders as Pittsburgh guilty of too many men on the ice.
Yeah, 1 too many here. A tough change for the Pittsburgh Penguins. As you can see, the video never lies, and we're going to let it roll here. And good catch by the officials on the ice, and Jack Johnson not sure, and 1 too many, an opportunity. How about the save that Murray made about a minute ago on that fourth line of the New York Islanders, and trailed 1-0, and now they got an opportunity to go up 1 with the man advantage.
You see how bad the Islanders power play was at the end of the season, but they are 2 of 10 in this series. Pittsburgh able to win that one, and Dumoulin comes down for the Penguins, puts on the brakes, moves it towards Cullen, who cannot get it towards the net, but he'll push it forward, and Brian Russell take it in front and try to get Cullen an opportunity. Shorthanded for Pittsburgh. The Islanders trying to settle down and get something set up here. Those of you who are watching that Columbus game who have joined us on CNBC, Blue Jackets leading 2-1 here. Jake Gensel scored 35 seconds in. Pittsburgh down 3-0 in the series, needed momentum and got it quickly. But Jordan Eberle's had a sensational series, scored his 4th goal of the series, 2nd most in the NHL playoffs so far. Just 1 minute and 34 later. Nothing going. First 45 seconds of the power play. Islanders get it into the zone with Matthew Barzal. Barzal back behind the net. It's worked to hot man Eberle. Eberle gets it to the point, trying to get it set up with Leddy. Barzal possesses. See if the Islanders can get some good looks. Leddy walks the line. Over to Eberle. Back to Leddy. They play catch. Centering it was Eberle, but could not get it in front to Anders Lee.
Leddy shoots the puck 1 time. It'll soften up the penalty kill for the Penguins.
45 seconds on it. Garrett Wilson defending up top there. It comes back. Here's the shot from Leddy. It goes wide. Eberle on it for the Islanders. Still no shots on goal in this power play. For New York, cross ice pass. It is Barzal shooting. Wide rebound. Beauvillier over there battling for it with Jack Johnson. Wilson on it for the Penguins. He possesses and will clear.
It's amazing, Mike, when you shoot the puck from the middle of the ice, the penalty killers have to respect that. Then you can use out those bumper plays off to the side. And then right after the shot by Leddy, there are a couple of good looks by the Islanders.
And Pittsburgh aggressive with Crosby and Gensel out there. We've seen Crosby kill more penalties this year. And their aggressive forecheck is going to kill the rest of this penalty. And the Islanders get no shots on goal in this. And now Gensel works it free. Gensel throws it for Letang. Could not get to it. Letang slaps it towards the net. It deflects into the corner. Crosby trying to win this battle with Beauvillier. And he comes free with it. Good job here by Pittsburgh. Here is Letang trying to get it over to McCann, who's been moved up to that first line tonight. Nothing going. And a good check by the Penguins. They look more complete here. A near giveaway as Barzal was poking in there. Penguins fans want the penalty. It's not called. The Islanders will see this deflected, so no icing as Pittsburgh comes back. Penguins trying to avoid the sweep. Last time they were swept was 2013 by Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. Zone gained. Malkin, who has 1 goal in this series. One of the big guns who does have a goal for Pittsburgh. Most of their big names have been quiet on the score sheet. Philpa gets it back behind the net for the Islanders. This is where the Islanders have done the damage in this series. Forechecking below the dots. The Penguins able to take care of that and start back the other way with Brian Rust down the wing. Rust leaves for Malkin. Suicide in the corner they are, and coming out with it is Devon Taves for the Islanders. Halfway through this first period with the game tied at 1.
And a lot of that forechecking for the Islanders, Mike, is in with teammates, not just one-on-ones, but a lot of two-on-ones below the goal line, outmanning the Penguins in their own zone.
Islanders are called for icing here past the halfway point of this opening period.
Well, Jake Gensel, the goal scorer for the Pittsburgh Penguins to start the game, getting in on the forecheck on Nick Leddy. This top line for the Pittsburgh Penguins has been good here in the first 10 minutes. Cullen shorthanded, the opportunity off the Rust feed. Good job on the PK by the Penguins.
And here's the fourth line. Cizikas with an opportunity. Matt Murray with a huge stop at 1-1. Pretty simple hard work there for the Cizikas unit.
As we've said, people call him the fourth line. Barry Trott's a great line this morning after the morning skate.
Too many men there for the Islanders.
Right by the bench there as Filppula was involved in the play, and they had another 5 on the ice. It is frozen by Leonard. Play is called. 9:42, first period here in Pittsburgh. Our game tied at 1. By the all-new Chevy Silverado.
Coach, an elimination game, what was the message to the group before you came out?
Well, we just need competitive focus. That's all. We've got to make sure we play the game the right way. We got to continue to try to play our game, but we got to make sure that we have some calculated risks with our decision making with the puck.
Is part of that calculated risk activating the defense a little bit more here tonight to get offense?
Well, our D are always encouraged to be active. It's just part of our overall team game plan, but we just got to do it the right way. We got to do it responsibly.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Mike Sullivan trying to find a way to get his team back to Long Island for a game 5 on Thursday night. Jake Gensel physical in the corner with Johnny Boychuk. But the Islanders able to get possession and clear the zone as the Islanders have the Kuhnhackl, Nelson, Bailey line on. Their second line going up against Crosby's crew for Pittsburgh. With Leddy on defense, pressure on Leddy. The Islanders not getting out of their zone as easily as they did in the prior couple of games. Kuhnhackl pushing it forward. Letang back behind the net for Pittsburgh. And now here's Crosby. The Penguins defense being a little aggressive here in this period. Kuhnhackl back at center, takes possession, dumps it in. The Islanders change. Pittsburgh with a fresh pair of defenders. Jack Johnson back behind the play.
Don't mind that play at all by Johnson. Just make sure you bypass the forecheck. Don't want to turn the puck over below your own goal line.
Here's Malkin. Looks like he's got some pep in his step tonight. Malkin taken to the corner. Erased from the play cleanly and nicely by Adam Pelech. This Pelech and Polak defensive pair for the Islanders really been solid in this series. Pelech with a foray into the offensive end. He comes in deep as they're working around with Barzal. Back behind the net. The backhander by the red-hot Everly is wide. He scored on a sweet backhander earlier in this series.
Eerily similar to that goal, Mike. He got it to his backhand, tried to go high blocker, just missed.
And on the change, Islanders tried to keep it in the zone, Bush, and they could not as Boychuk was offside.
Gonna look at Everly right here behind the goal line, takes it to the front. Always difficult for a goaltender when it comes from behind the net, and he had him. I mean, he just fired it over the net. And then look at the numbers back for the New York Islanders. I mean, you're not going to be able to penetrate by skating pucks in. You're going to have to find ways to get pucks chipped in, get after it. It's the only way the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be able to sustain offense is to get it deep and get after it.
Yeah, you have to recognize where the defense is situated and move it quick. If you can move it straight up, that's probably the best, and try to, instead of trying to go through the middle of the ice. As you know, Bush, there's not a lot of room there, so straight ahead is probably the better. But sometimes you have to just live to fight another day mentality, and I think that's kind of what Mike Sullivan was telling you in your bench interview there, especially with his defensemen making better reads all over the ice when they have the puck.
12 minutes gone by in this first period. Patrick Hornquist for Pittsburgh.
It was a simple play there. Like, just get the puck in. I mean, Hornquist is not a stick handler per se. You're not going to beat guys with not a lot of speed, and you turn the puck over and you're able to get back defensively. But I think that's a perfect example there where it's okay to chip and chase, but that's not really the strength of the Penguins' DNA when it comes to the offensive part, and that's where they've really struggled in this series.
Isn't that hard? It's not what they do, and now that would be their best remedy to deal with the Islanders.
Right. Again, it doesn't feel right, but if you want to give yourself a chance to breathe tomorrow, you got to. It has to start somewhere.
Filppula misses the one-timer, kept in at the point by Boychuk, throws it down low. But the Islanders can't keep the possession going, and Pittsburgh able to clean the zone.
Good play by Wilson there to knock that puck out of midair and get it into the neutral zone. To Branson and Komarov going at it behind the play.
Not been a lot of rough stuff in this series. Got a little dicey in game 2. Other than that, it has been rather well behaved for a Stanley Cup playoff series of 2 division rivals. These 2 teams over 100 points in the Metropolitan Division. The Islanders with 3 more points, thus the home ice. Couple of heavy hits on these past shifts. Bailey comes in. Islanders with an opportunity here as Brock Nelson goes deep. He cannot possess it, and Pittsburgh comes back the other way. The headman too far, but on goal, so Leonard steers it. Waits for Scott Mayfield, the 26-year-old from St. Louis. He sends it the other way, but nobody home. And this is icing with 6:24 to go.
How can you make McDonald's hot and deliciously juicy Quarter Pounder even more delicious? One word: bacon. The new fresh beef Quarter Pounder Bacon or Deluxe. 2 new ways to leave you speechless. Pair it with any size soft drink for just $1.
Penguins will send Crosby back out for this faceoff with Brock Nelson.
And we just saw Adam Pelech. He got hit hard by Wilson as that puck moved up the ice before that last icing call.
Yeah, contact made stick above the shoulder. Let's go back and check that play out.
It's to the over the left shoulder of Robin Lehner, and there you see the hit. Wilson leaves his feet. Not much there, but then you see the follow through by Wilson with the elbow, shoulder into the back of the head, and then there's the play by Komarov on Branson. And those are the ones you love there, Mike, where you can accidentally on purpose fall on top of the guy and give him the business, you know?
Accidentally on purpose, huh? I love it. Dumoulin whistled one off the window. He and Letang. You're going to see a lot of ice time here for Pittsburgh. Letang always high in the minutes. It's an opportunity for the Penguins. They speed down quickly with Gensel, who gets knocked down. Good jump by Pullock to knock him down. Erase an opportunity. McCann able to find Crosby. Sid dancing. Letang's drive does not get through. Pelech able to block it. And here comes Kuhnhackl for the Islanders. We'll dump it in as both teams change.
There's one of those missed opportunities for the Penguins there. Crosby walks the wall. Letang is there, and the Islanders find a way to get in that shooting lane by Pelech.
Yeah, what a good job by Eberle. Took it away from Malkin. Keeps the puck down here in Pittsburgh's defensive end.
Oh, Dumoulin and Barzal going in. Now Barzal swings his stick and hits Dumoulin high. Now this was after Dumoulin give him about 4 cross checks right into the back, and Barzal retaliates eventually and ends up in a penalty box. Watch this. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, maybe 6, 6.5, and then watch Barzal. He's going to the box.
Dumoulin on the left has a little bit of blood that he was spitting out after the Barzal slash. The slash with the stick mostly got the shoulder of the Penguins forward, or defenseman I should say, but maybe the glove got a little bit of the mouth. In any case, it is 2 minutes, not 4. Penguins on the power play. They've moved Gensel to the power play here off the second unit to the first unit to try to get some offense. This drive wide, Gensel in front, couldn't get to it. Working with Kessel and Malkin and Crosby. Here is Sid looking for a goal. Crosby up top to Letang. Pittsburgh gets it set up. Crosby back to Letang. Crosby patient, tried to get it up top, and it was broken up. Such a good job by Cal Clutterbuck, who's a very good penalty killer.
And that's a bad pass by Crosby on his back end, tried to force it.
Yeah, he was looking for Kessel for the one-timer high in the slot, and he might have caught Kessel by surprise there, Bruce, just a bit, and Clutterbuck was able to get it, send it down, and get some fresh bodies on the ice for the Islanders.
And Komarov, one of those fresh bodies, delays the rush from Pittsburgh. Penguins just 1 of 8 on the power play in this series. They were 5th in the league during the regular season. Gensel pushes forward the backhander by Malkin. Deflects out of play, and the faceoff will be down here to Leonard's left with 55 left on the power play.
A little bit of a whack on the hand from Phil Kessel. And now Clutterbuck knows what it feels like when he slashes guys himself. And then there's that errant pass from Crosby looking for Kessel in that high slot area. I didn't mind the setup of the play, but the execution obviously was not on the positive side for the home team.
Pittsburgh goes to the second power play unit. Bukestad cannot win the draw, and the Islanders clear it the length of the ice.
Look for Hornquist to go right to the blue paint, right in front of Robin Leonard.
Patrick Hornquist. Back behind is Pellick, controlling for the Islanders, and again, they clear. 30 seconds left.
Well, Simone is going in there. He chips the puck in. Nobody else is going for it, and the Islanders get it and clear it.
Now Bukestad trying to push it forward with Hornquist. Again, nothing going. And Boychuk able to wrap it around and clear it all the way down. 14 left on the power play. See if Justin Schultz can get one last rush for the Penguins. They dump it in on the far side. It is Crosby back out there quickly, who controls it. But the Islanders come away with it. Almost time Barzal coming out of the penalty box. It's too far, so that means Murray has to come out and play it over to Letang. Deflected at center is an opportunity. No, it'll be ruled a high stick. Contacted it with Crosby at center ice. So the faceoff will come back to the Pittsburgh end. Nothing like playoff hockey with the NBC Sports app. You can watch every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs live on multiple devices. Download the app or visit NBCSports.com/live. Got that working in the booth as Columbus is leading 2-1 against Tampa in the second period.
Well, Edzo, you talked about Dominic Simone trying to get in on the forecheck, but a good job by Adam Pellick to get on his horse, get back, get the puck. Some good holdups by Mayfield to stop Simone from getting in there, and the Islanders were able to get the puck out. Overall, a pretty good kill for the New York Islanders, as not much was going on for the Penguins on that power play.
I mean, just scouting that, I mean, Pettersson, he's got to go there. I mean, that you got to go in and try to get that puck. There's no reason to skate 160 feet one way and then shoot the puck in and then stop and then have to skate back to 160. You just move forward. So missed opportunity again by the Penguins.
Pittsburgh able to get possession here. Brian Rust able to hang on, gets it to Kessel, back to Rust, and Pittsburgh will get set up. Letang, who's been on the ice, it feels like the whole first period. What else is new? Dumoulin's drive goes wide. Slashing at it was Kessel, couldn't get to it. Pittsburgh trying to keep it down here with Malkin. Malkin trying to put the move on and lost it. It's a 2-on-2 opportunity with Barzal, crisscrossing with Everly. Barzal back in the middle, he backhands it, and it's saved by Murray. Malkin just throws it lazily towards Zach Aston Reese. And the Islanders able to control in the neutral zone.
Well, that's a 2-on-2 that turns into a scoring chance. Not good enough defensively for the Penguins. They just allow Barzal to get to his forehand, create time and space, and eventually get a quality chance.
Cullen took out his own teammate, Garrett Wilson.
I think the initial turnover with Malkin, tough to stick handle around guys when you don't have a lot of speed or you're standing still, and Murray had to bail out his big center iceman.
Back behind the net, Kuhnhackl with the hit. Bailey jumps out, centers, and they score! Brock Nelson! The forechecking of the Islanders does it again. Kuhnhackl, Bailey setting up Nelson, and the Islanders have erased the early Pittsburgh lead. They're on top 2-1.
Well, Nelson gets inside position. And again, how often have we seen this in this series? Two Islander players below the goal line, getting to work, forecheck, the quick play, over-committed Penguin defenseman, mesmerized by the puck, and then a perfect pass to the front of the net. And Nelson, all he does is chip it. That puck's coming through the blue paint, and the Islanders with a 2-1 lead.
And it's a second guy for the Islanders that beats the Penguins. Josh Bailey arrives first on the scene as a second guy. Kuhnhackl took the body initially, and then Bailey picked up the loose change. The Islanders have been fast on the forecheck all series long, and that continues here tonight.
Brock Nelson, the pride of Warroad, Minnesota. It's a small town that's produced some good hockey players over the years. Gets his third goal of this series. He has 3, Everly has 4. Islanders are balanced, and they are putting it to the Penguins and jump back on top. Here's Cizikas circling the net, bodied by Justin Schultz, and the Penguins will try to respond here. So all that energy, the build-up, the good start, erased quickly by the goal. No shots on the power play, and the Islander forechecking helps give them a 2-1 lead.
They even had an opportunity to, Mike, when the Islanders were short-handed. That penalty from Barzal weren't able to take advantage, and the Penguins with a good penalty kill themselves early and not able to feed off of that momentum when you have it. On playoff hockey, when you have the momentum, what do you do with it?
And able to send it to Gensel. Gensel works on the boards, back to Dumoulin at the point. Crosby drops it for Letang on the move. Tried the slap pass. Nobody was home.
Like that,
for the redirect.
Like that scheme, Mike. Sorry, where Dumoulin flies in and the change out at the blue line with his partner Letang.
Pittsburgh moving back in. His backhander goes wide from McCann. Fopla over to get there for the Islanders. Pokes at it. Controlled by Komarov, but not out. Kept in by the Penguins. Deflected in front. Gensel could not get it on net. Just 20 seconds remaining in this period as Lenny moves it forward through center. Nick Leddy, the defenseman, with a look here late in the period. To Barzal, who's going to join the play. A drive by Lee goes wide. Islanders almost get it at the end. Now Eberle. Down to 5 seconds left. Is there one shot left? Barzal backhands it. There is not, and the period will come to an end. It was Gensel 35 seconds in. Then Eberle tied it a minute 34 later, and Brock Nelson with the goal to give the Islanders a 2-1 lead. Islanders that early short memory. The Penguins' aggressive D, did it cost them? And the Lightning looking to avoid elimination in Columbus. It's all coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report. 2-1 Islanders here after the first 20 minutes. And you're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. So for Pittsburgh, Eberle and Nelson for the Islanders. 2-1 after one before the second period. Progressive Insurance brings you inside the glass. And here's Brian.
Thanks very much, Mike. Let's take a look back at the goal that was scored by Brock Nelson and what role Matt Murray could play on this goal. Anytime a pass goes through the blue paint, it's the responsibility of a goaltender to help his defenseman out and get his stick on it. Watch right here. This puck goes underneath the stick of Matt Murray, allowing Brock Nelson to have a clean look at it, and he puts it by him. It's a good job by the Islanders to get on the forecheck, but as a goaltender, you got to help your defenseman out and intercept some passes that go through the blue paint. Murray didn't do it there, and the Islanders grab themselves a 2-1 lead.
And they begin this period, if you include the one overtime, it's the 12th period of this series. It's the 11th time this Cizikas-Martin Clutterbuck line has started for the Islanders. These tone setters get a good foundation laid for this Islander team, looking to get the sweep. It would be their first sweep since 1983 with the Stanley Cup final against Edmonton. Matt Martin working back behind the net, spins it around. Here is Ryan Pulock. He throws it back to the other end.
Saw one of those guys that played on that 83 team in town to follow his Islanders, the great Clark Gillies, in town. Played a little golf with the owner of the Penguins today. Of course, legendary Mario Lemieux.
Oh, Jethro, Clark Gillies, number 9. You saw Tampa has scored to get within one in Columbus.
Don't know who won the golf match, though, there, Mike, but I know they played golf together.
It is steered aside as it comes to Leonard, and back behind the net, Stanley Cup winner with the Bruins, Johnny Boychuk. And a couple of guys with some Stanley Cup experience. The Islanders also have a young core here. It's an interesting team built with Lou Lamoriello taking over at the head of the organization. And another man with Stanley Cup experience, and Barry Trotz behind the bench for the Islanders. 103 points, 2 periods from the sweep of the Penguins. 3 Islanders below the goal line here. You get a sense of some of their forechecking that's been the story of this series, and no room for Pittsburgh to break out. And at center, the Islanders get on it. Even though they changed, they've got the puck back. And they're in the zone with Anders Lee for the moment, but he lost it, and Pittsburgh will try to mount some offense.
Well, it's got to get deep here. It finally does. Now Letang and Dumoulin, most importantly the defenseman, get off the ice after a longer shift with the long change here in the second period.
And it comes back down the other way. 2 minutes in here. It is misplayed back behind the net by Murray, and the Islanders may force another opportunity. Anders Lee was back there but couldn't get control of the puck, and here come the Penguins breaking out. First time here this period. Hornquist moves it back behind the net. Moved around by Leonard. And to a side, they'll go to the corner, and it's pulled out by Hornquist, who gets it to Pettersson. Drive doesn't get through. The rebound by Simone. That doesn't get to the net as well, and it's played by Bukestad. Back towards the deflection by Hornquist. Goes wide.
Beautiful save there from Leonard.
Here comes Pulock for the Islanders to Barzal at center. Matthew Barzal, who had another assist. He has 5 assists in this series.
What a chemistry he's formed with Jordan Eberle. They got together in the last month of the season, and they've been fantastic, especially since this playoff has started. The question for the Islanders was, were they going to be able to be opportunistic enough? And I think they've answered that with the pairing of Eberle and Barzal. They've been fantastic.
Now look at this line buzzing as well as Fopla was in front, couldn't get the shot. Boychuk from the point. His drive is deflected wide by Beauvillier.
Beautiful play there from Beauvillier below the goal line. A little spin around, forehand pass back to the front of the net. Murray with a big stop.
Here's a heavy hit on Boychuk, trying to disrupt this Islanders attack. They still maintain possession here out of the corner. Filppula working hard. Komarov there as well. It bounces free. Beauvillier. This Islander team is relentless. They do not stop. Another strong shift by the Islanders. Now here comes Pittsburgh with Garrett Wilson. Over center, Wilson between his legs, trying to move it forward. They're onside. Zach Aston Reese going in the corner. Those two players, Mike Sullivan told me this morning, were important to help set the tone for this Pittsburgh team. Islanders breakout. It's 3-on-2. Cizikas, his drive doesn't go through. Clutterbuck and Cizikas below the goal line again for New York. Pittsburgh's got no room or space. You hear that term so often watching hockey. The Islanders give you none of it.
We talked about the Islanders being so relentless. I think the one reason why they're able to play like that, especially their forwards, Mike, in their own zone.
Here's Gensel moving in. Gensel cross ice, the shot saved, made by Leonard.
Great chance there for McCann.
Back the other way, nearly a breakout opportunity for Matt Martin. He'll come get it. Back behind the goal line as the Islanders change. Martin goes down.
That relentless part of it is that they play 4 lines. You're able to go 25, 30 seconds and then just roll them over. So you're not counting on 3 lines to do the majority of the work. That's why you have so much energy in a play that way.
Deflected into the crowd. 4.5 in, Brian.
Oh, good save here by Robin Lehner off of Jared McCann on the feed by Crosby by Gensel, and Lehner continues his strong play here tonight.
And here's that play, Mike, you picked up on it, the shot from Bukestad, the redirect from Hornquist. Getting to the front of that, see him yell. If you look at him, his mouth opened up and he wanted somebody to shoot the puck to get it to the net. Bukestad with the shot, and the beautiful hand-eye coordination there from Hornquist.
And who scored the Stanley Cup clinching goal in the second of the back-to-back Penguins Stanley Cups. Islanders come in. This opportunity deflected away, but whistle is called. Play is stopped. 4:38 in. The battle for the Cup's on. To get all the latest scores, news, and updates from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Extended coverage every game night with NHL Tonight on NHL Network.
Hey, Bush, that redirect that Hornquist made on Leonard, from your perspective of playing goal for a long time, just kind of talk us through the difficulty of those high, those tips farther away compared to the ones like 2 feet away.
Yeah, those are the ones that are most difficult. The ones that are tipped right in front of you, you can kind of get right up on the guy. Right. But the high ones, those are the ones that are difficult. And Leonard, you could see how deep he was there. I think that's why he was able to react, because he was sitting back and was able to kind of get another second to look at that puck.
Another giveaway and great forechecking. An opportunity for Kuhnhackl, and Pittsburgh can't get out of the zone again. Josh Bailey keeping it. Kuhnhackl, the drive, is steered away by Murray. Pittsburgh's defense must feel suffocated here. They cannot breathe with his Islander forechecking. Bill Kessel spinning and turning and seeking Malkin, but no connection. And the Islanders right back on with their top line. Barzal lost it. Here comes Evgeny Malkin, middle of the pond. Malkin to Rust, who stops, turns it, throws it towards the net. But the Islanders are there for every rebound. Barzal back the other way. Barzal working in. The play is joined from the point with a drive by Taves and a pad save made by Murray. Here's Crosby for Pittsburgh as it knocked away by Scott Mayfield and causing an offside.
A little different looking line there from Mike Sullivan. Right now the Penguins only have 3 players on the ice, and now Mike Sullivan's going to make a change. Crosby goes off, sends a new forward unit out there. But the turnover at the blue line, great stick again by the Islanders.
Edzo, we always talk about matching lines in the last change at home in a playoff series. Barry Trotz hasn't felt like he's had to go run and chase that in this series because defensively he's so comfortable with his forward lines and all the 3 defensive pairs as well. So when Crosby's line comes out there, usually it's a fire drill to get your guys out there. Not as much the case for this Islander team.
Yeah, a lot of confidence, and there's nothing like getting the responsibility and the trust of your coach to know that you can go out there and play against a guy like Crosby head to head.
Jeff Johnson at the point for Pittsburgh. Here is Bukestad working towards the net. Being watched by Pelech. Bukestad spins and turns again, putting a puck to the side of the net. It deflects across. He's got it again. He and Pelech continue their battle on this shift. Back behind the net, Hornquist for Pittsburgh wraps it around but Schultz couldn't get to the point to keep it in, and it comes back to the other Islander puck. Filppula has it, moving in deep. The backhander is stopped by Murray, and play call. 6.5 gone by. Islanders lead 2-1. Tampa away as that series looked to be done. Columbus also had a goal disallowed. 3-3 that game on CNBC, first of 2 on the night. Vegas and San Jose, game 4 to follow us here on NBCSN. Murray contacted, went down, slow to get back to his feet. Islanders could not get possession. Zach Aston-Reese has it for Pittsburgh, slapped it into the defensive zone. The Islanders will clean it up with Cizikas. Now Pittsburgh with a couple of players out there forechecking. Aston-Reese out to the point. Goodbranson's drive was hit by Boychuk. Hit Boychuk's leg. The rebound in front is stopped. Back behind the net. Wilson tried to center it. Couldn't do it. And the Islanders will take it and get it out.
Yeah, Murray hit the deck. He collided with his defenseman, Goodbranson, and down at the other end, it looked like Leonard was a little bit slow moving left to right. And Wilson looking to run Nick Leddy into the 4th or 5th row. Now Martin drives Wilson from behind.
Well, Pittsburgh good forecheck these last 2 shifts. Little energy, what the Penguins need. Some of the Islanders' own medicine.
Got some tired guys out there right now on the back end for the Islanders.
Here is Dumoulin for Pittsburgh, putting on the pressure. Crosby cycling. Letang getting deep. Letang looking, he's got Crosby with him. Letang back, still with possession. Gensel replaced him. Throws it towards the net, towards Crosby. Sidney falling down, trying to get it on goal. He does. And Leonard able to keep it. Good couple of minutes, and the Penguins fans react.
This is where you can take advantage of those matchups, Mike, we were talking about a little bit earlier. Second period, your defensive zone's the farthest away from your bench, and you can take advantage of some tired players on the ice. And that's what the Penguins tried to do with Boychuk and Leddy in particular. And then there's that collision with Goodbranson, with Matt Murray. Casey Cizikas not able to take advantage, and a good recovery there from Goodbranson. I think he's had a pretty good first 3.5 games in this playoff series for the Pens.
From the point, Dumoulin's drive hits his own man. Dumoulin gets it back. And the zone is cleared. Well, it took less than a minute for Columbus to retake the lead. Bjorkstrand has scored, and Columbus on top now 4-3. Contact on the half boards will lead to this penalty against the Islanders as Kuhnhackl was involved in bringing down Gensel. So a power play coming up for the Penguins.
Well, a couple of good shifts for the Penguins here, playing in the offensive zone, and now Gensel gets Kuhnhackl in a tough area, and you can see the arm of Kuhnhackl holding Gensel. And this will allow the Penguins to go on the power play and see if they can build off of some of that offensive zone play that they've had here in the second period.
Look at Jake Gensel there. He choked up on a stick there to try to receive that pass and ends up drawing the penalty, as Bush just explained to everybody. But sometimes get a little bit more leverage. Sometimes the puck is so in tight to your skates you can't get the stick blade there because of the length of it. And good try there from Gensel.
Second power play for the Penguins. First one did not create much. Here is Kessel on the half board. Pittsburgh gets it, set it up. Crosby with Malkin back behind. And now Kessel. So this Penguins power play, potent during the regular season, can get going. Just 1 of 9 in this series. Deflected nicely by Mayfield. Out of harm's way for the moment. Malkin has it on the board. He is met, comes out to the point. Schultz moved it across. Here's Kessel with the drive. It is deflected again by Mayfield, who slaps at it and clears.
Good job by Mayfield on this kill. A good stick earlier. Good job to take time and space away, and then a 200-foot clear. This PK for the Islanders has been good all series.
Cizikas and Clutterbuck now trying to kill up front for the Islanders as Gensel gets it in the zone. Comes back to the point to Schultz.
No stick for Cizikas.
3 Islanders with a stick. Cizikas without. He looks at Schultz.
Got to isolate Cizikas if you can here.
Schultz moved it. Crosby could not control. Now he has it back. Here is Crosby holding. Schultz moves it. Malkin, fans want a shot. It's being set up. Download is blocked in front by Pulock. It's in the skates of Leddy. Pulock tries to knock it away. Gensel goes down.
Cizikas with a stick back.
The body by Kessel. Able to keep it in. Schultz. 40 on the power play. Schultz looking for the deflection. It goes the other way. In front. Crosby missed the net. Back to Malkin. Still a chance. Crosby. Schultz a drive wide. Rebound is stopped for the moment by Leonard. And the whistle is blown as Clutterbuck goes at Gensel while he's down. Pittsburgh fans not happy.
What a chance for Sidney Crosby. Right part of your screen. Puck is on the net. Kessel with a beautiful pass. Maybe off the near side post. Yeah, off the post and out the other side. And then the Islanders got a little upset with Gensel and Crosby coming in and hacking and whacking on their goaltender. And then Clutterbuck was giving Gensel the business. But some good looks for the Penguins with the man advantage.
And some exhausted players on the other side. 26 seconds remaining on this Penguins power play as they trail 2-1. No scoring here in the second. Goodbranson at the point for Pittsburgh at the end of this power play. Just 20 seconds left. Patterson works it down low. Letang for Pittsburgh. Bukestad back to Letang. 8 left of the power play. Letang looking for a slot to pass it. Here's the shot. It goes wide. Back behind the net. Komarov jumps on it for the Islanders. Cannot get it out. It's back below the goal line. Penalty is expired. Teams are at even strength. McCann pulls it away for Pittsburgh. Well, the Islanders come away with it. Islanders scoring 2 in the first after Gensel scored 35 seconds in for Pittsburgh. It is the Islander 2-1 lead, looking to sweep the series from Pittsburgh. The shot going towards the net in front. It is loose, and Mayfield able to take it out of there. But Cullen is back on it for Pittsburgh. 42-year-old Matt Cullen sends it out to the point. Branson's drive goes wide. Pedersen throws it towards the net. It is stopped again.
Hornquist and Leonard are going at it. There we go.
Leonard was ready to drop him with Hornquist. He continues to go after the
Islanders. You got to get in there and protect your goaltender. Nobody knew what was going on because the puck was moving back up the ice. Hornquist did a heck of a job on that shift. And then he went in and actually initiated with Leonard.
The Islanders were looking at the break back the other way. And the slashing and pushing nearly turned into a fight. And you look at the goaltender, Robin Leonard. And Cullen and Mayfield with a little conversation going on amongst everybody out there. We'll settle it down here for a second, and we'll certainly get some penalties out of this one. Well, that is some energy we have not seen from Pittsburgh throughout this series. And this Eddie, has been a better part of the period for the Penguins.
Yeah.
Playing with a little bit of the desperation of elimination. We'll sort out the penalties right after this.
Coach, tempers seem to be starting to flare up here. What's the key to staying calm and cool?
Well, we don't need to get involved in this. You know, right now we've just got a big penalty kill. It's 2-1. They're trying to create a lot of stuff around the net, and they're taking some shots. We just got to stay disciplined.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Brian, thank you. Right now, all that's showing on the board is a 2-minute penalty for the Penguins.
I'm surprised that Leonard did not. Now maybe there's an extra. Maybe there's an extra to Hornquist, but certainly should be penalties on both Hornquist and Leonard for sure.
Because there is an Islander in the box to either serve the penalty, as you look at Tom Kuhnhackl.
That's what it looks like, yep. And Mike Sullivan was not happy with the official as he came over to the players bench for the Penguins. But there's the battle again. The little shot with the stick started it. Leonard gives him one back, and now look at it. Once you start going with a goaltender, you know there's help coming. And Hornquist is expecting somebody to get in there. Right. But the other players were skating up the ice, so they didn't realize what was going on in behind. And the Islanders get a power play out of this.
You're right, they were 100 feet away. So the extra 2 minutes on the Penguins will set up this power play for the Islanders.
Hey, Bush, how good did it feel to go ahead and hit somebody with that blocker every once in a while when you had the chance, Bush?
Nothing feels better than when you connect with it, that's for sure.
Big power play here for the Islanders, trying to take a 2-goal lead. And it's Everly going to get set up to Bailey. Josh Bailey had a big goal earlier. The deflection in front by Nelson does not get all the way through. Nelson back behind, loses it to Dumoulin, who clears.
Oh, that was a good setup play there. With Bailey and Nelson looking for that high tip.
And
just missed the far side, Mike.
The Pittsburgh fans now, Enzo, on Leonard every time he touches the puck, and with good reason. Pittsburgh slaps it back to center for the moment. Islanders regain the zone with Eberle, who scored the goal to tie this game at 1 early in the second. Eberle met back there by Goodbranson. Zach Aston-Reese out to kill this penalty for Pittsburgh with Jared McCann. It comes across. Here's a chance for Bailey. Tees it up, and the save made by Murray.
Boy, breakdown defensively for the Penguins. All 4 penalty killers on one side of the ice.
Bailey again, a one-timer is stopped. Dug out by Anders Lee. Back to Bailey, to the point to Taves. Eberle tried to send it across. Zach Aston-Reese got in the way but couldn't take it away. Back to Eberle, and a save made by Murray. 38 left on the power play as the Penguins clear.
I don't think Eberle got a lot on that shot. It didn't seem like it was right in the wheelhouse. But Murray made a nice stop moving left to right.
They get on Leonard again as Barzal takes it for the Islanders. Lost control of it, but able to scoop it up as Beauvillier for New York. So down low by Pulock. Islanders still one more chance to set it up with 12 seconds left. Barzal off the half boards. It is Leddy walking it across. Got a 5 seconds left. Here is Barzal. Back to Leddy. One-timer is stopped by Murray. Rebound again, Murray with the save and cleared out. Chasing it was Simone, who was serving the penalty. He doesn't get it, and Leddy has it for New York. 7:15 left. Clutterbuck comes down the wing. He is bodied. Dumoulin works it around. The Penguins have it with Gensel. Jake Gensel working with McCann, trying to get Crosby on the other side, but it was broken up by Barzal, who's still out there. He's been out there for a while, and the Islanders ice it with 6:58 left. 3 shots on the power play. The Islanders 0 for 2. A man up.
Couple of great looks for the Islanders. There's that one for Eberle. A little bit too far in front of him. Kind of heals it a little bit. Easy save. And good hard work here by the Islanders. Strength of numbers, all 4 Penguins on one side of the ice. Bailey with a chance. A shoulder save, and then Bailey looking for Nelson off of Chris Letang. Remember that sequence if the Penguins can find a way to win this game. Matt Murray made a couple of really nice stops, and yeah, this is 2019. The boys can go to the iPad and check out what I did or I didn't do on that power play.
Islanders are so good about faceoffs and cleaning them up in the circle there. That one was taken away by Beauvillier as it was sitting just beyond the faceoff down. The Islanders control the zone. Mayfield shot is deflected, doesn't get through. Gensel could not pick it up. Back behind the net on the deflection. Gensel chases Mayfield back behind with him. Penguin fans trying to get their team involved. Looking for the tyrant. Schultz from the point. Deflected nicely by Leonard.
I don't think he saw that shot from Schultz. Good traffic by the Penguins.
Once again at the point, it is Schultz. Walks the line. I think he was halfway between the pass and the shot. Got really an ineffective one of each. And Crosby's on it for Pittsburgh. But the Islanders send 2 there. And they bring it out. And they break out with Cizikas. His pass broken up nicely. On the comeback by Kessel for Pittsburgh.
He came a long way, Mike, there on the back check. Good hustle there from 81 Black.
6 minutes left in this second period. Penguins facing elimination, facing a sweep at the hands of the Islanders. Only 3 points separating these teams in the regular season. Who's center? Pittsburgh could not get Malkin on it. Kessel gains the zone. Here comes Phil Kessel. Malkin can't find it. Kessel can't control it. It's kept in by Goodbranson. Cross to Johnson from the blue line. Shot doesn't get through. A good deflection by Martin, who's Kumarov, who sends off to the bench. Deflected on the half board, picked up by Brock Nelson, who has the go-ahead goal here for the Islanders. Once again, Pittsburgh cannot get out of its zone. Finally, it takes 2 to work it free. And the Penguins come forward with Dominic Simone. Simone working in. And Kunak will knock it away from him.
1 against 4 there.
Yeah, the white jerseys are just so prevalent.
I feel like the Islanders have 6 guys on the ice a whole lot. You look, they are everywhere.
That's
in
a
this
hand
series.
pass. It should be.
And it is called. As Barzal was breaking in the neutral zone, slapped forward by Ryan Pulock, and will step out. Under 5 minutes left in this second period. No scoring in the second, thanks in part to good goaltending. Matt Murray stopping the Josh Bailey chance. right, Liam, thank you. There is the commissioner of the National Hockey League, Gary Bettman, on hand in Pittsburgh, taking this game forward.
Had a nice visit with him. He stopped up in the broadcast booth, so we had a nice chance to see the commissioner here in Pittsburgh tonight.
Took a couple of my pretzels that I had here, actually, truth be told. But
all right, we'll get the invoice right after the commissioner.
I think he's good for it. Great to visit with the commissioner. The Islanders, of course, if they win here tonight, will not return to where they won their first 2 games this season, Nassau Coliseum, this postseason, I should say. As many of you know, they are sharing their regular season and postseason between Nassau Coliseum and the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and all remaining Islander playoff games would be in Brooklyn and not on Long Island. 4:20 left in the second period. Shots are 10-9 Pittsburgh in the period. Neither team has scored. McCann, Crosby, and Gensel on for Pittsburgh. Pass by McCann was going nowhere, and the Islanders were able to take it away with Matt Martin.
That's one of those hope plays from McCann, just throwing it to the middle of the ice, hoping one of his teammates are there, and no black jerseys, all white jerseys.
Here's Pittsburgh breaking out with Brian Rust. Rust down the left wing, swooping in. Rust in front. Crosby couldn't get it on his tape. Good job by the Islanders' Taves to get on Crosby. And this is whistled as it jumped up in the bench area. And the faceoff will come back up deep in the Islanders' zone.
Chance here for Brian Rust and eventually Sidney Crosby. Crosby's had a couple of opportunities here in this period that he just has not been able to connect. Wasn't able to handle that one, and then off the faceoff, watch Zizekas' stick. Oh boy. We'll have to see if there's something to be said about that. And you think about what happened between Hornquist and Leonard about 6-7 minutes ago, and whether or not that's going to play out a little bit more. If I'm the Penguins, I want to try and get in front of Leonard a little bit more and see if he can kind of rattle him up a little bit. He certainly has had his way in seeing the puck all series long.
Comes Filppula for the Islanders. Pittsburgh has scored 6 goals in this series. It's a potent Pittsburgh team with a lot of goal scorers and a lot of goal scoring power. Not as much as they used to have, but they are still a pretty high octane offensive team, and the Islanders have shut them down to this point. Comes Phil Kessel, finds Malkin, back to Kessel with a drive. Deflected, out of play, and the face-off coming down here. FanDuel is the official daily fantasy game of the NHL. Play fantasy hockey and win cash through the NHL playoffs. FanDuel, more ways to win. You were in the studio watching all the games here for the first weekend, so it is interesting. You expect Pittsburgh to just start with their offensive flow, but this Islander team is playing the way they played all year. It's the way they got to 103 points in second place.
They obviously raised their intensity, and had a chance to visit with Nick Leddy, terrific defenseman for the Islanders last evening. And said, look, we're not playing any different. We just raised our intensity, and we're getting depth scoring, which we didn't get a lot of during the regular season, and they're dictating the terms. And it is tough to play in a National Hockey League at even. It's easier to play when you're ahead, and the Penguins have been chasing this whole series, and it feeds right into the beast of the Islanders.
Cullen wiped away there by Leddy. Islanders are winning a lot of one-on-one battles, too, in their defensive end. Pittsburgh cannot get a lot of space to do anything. Here come the Islanders back through center with Brock Nelson. Nelson possessing. Pittsburgh doing a good job here with Hornquist of trying to fight it away. Hornquist got that double minor for roughing, and he was agitated when he came out of the bench. Slammed the Pittsburgh Penguin player bench door when he came back across ice from the penalty box.
I'll guarantee he feels way better after slamming it, because speaking from experience, it just feels good. Because hopefully nobody's fingers are in the hinge over there.
Here is Gensel looking for Crosby. Sidney sneaking back around him. They're out with Simone for the moment as the Penguins are in the middle of a change. Here is Crosby still looking for the first goal of this series. He leaves it for Letang with a drive through traffic. Goes wide and out of the zone.
Beautiful interchanging there by the Penguins and their defensemen, opening up some space for Sidney Crosby.
Here is Gensel with Crosby going towards the net. Can't get the pass through. Works it back to the point. Letang going to take a stroll in deep. Drop pass. Gensel drop safe. Rebound is wide. Simone tried the backhand. Couldn't do it. Dumoulin at the point. Letang calling. Shooting and deflected. Good job by Eberle. Islanders getting a lot of sticks and ways. Blocking shots. Doing a little bit of everything. And it's iced with 1:26 to go.
Need to see more of this from the Penguins. Crosby opening up space. How does this happen? Now your defenseman can shoot down, and then it opens up all the space up around the blue line, right? It causes confusion, and that's what you need to try to do. It's a risky proposition, but the Penguins got to start taking some chances in the offensive zone, and all of a sudden, now the Islanders start running around. You think you have one person, all of a sudden another teammate takes another. That's how you cause separation in the offensive zone.
Good. Branson from the point goes wide. He scored earlier in this series on a long drive from the top. That one doesn't get through. 3-on-2 if the Islanders hurry here with Barzal. They do. In front, Barzal for the deflection, but Murray gloves it before he can get his stick in front of the net.
Well, good job by Murray there to grab that with his glove and not just boot that puck out in front. You gotta have an active glove sometimes, and most times goaltenders will just boot that puck back out into the front of the net. And if you do that, that's where second and third chance opportunities present themselves. I think Murray's been good in this period, had a couple of big time saves on the power play for the New York Islanders, and that is key as far as keeping his team in it and giving his team a chance here as they head into the third period. Towards the last minute 12 here in the second, but heading into the third, if they're gonna be down by one, it's a big win for the Penguins.
Barzal did not miss that redirect by much, that play from Lee.
Cizikas wins the draw. Point drive from Leddy does not get through. Hornquist moves it out.
McCann with the block.
Mitch Marner blocks at the end of the Toronto-Boston game that Bush got to see firsthand last night. What a way to end the game. Full sacrifice. Playoffs in full display.
No matter if you're the fourth leading assist getter in the entire National Hockey League in the regular season.
Sell out. By the way, it is a day that ends in Y, so Bush is between the glass, inside the glass here tonight, as this one is gloved and held by Leonard. Bush, do you need us to do any laundry for you?
Yeah, I'm getting low. I'm not going to lie to you.
Working every day.
It's okay. Hey, Bush, it's okay. We can't see that gray T-shirt under your blue shirt tonight.
Oh, Enzo, you're something else.
Day 7 of the playoffs here, and a lot of physical action going on. Jordan Eberle involved here a moment ago.
Yeah, Jordan Eberle takes a shot right here. The shot block off the foot. He hobbles eventually to the Islander bench, where they can't afford to miss him with the way that he's played in this series so far.
It's amazing when you do those type of things there. It just eliminates and it frustrates the offensive team, and it lifts the spirits of your teammates. Yeah, you may be sore for a little while, but that's the difference between winning and losing.
Eberle's been a star all 3 games of this series.
Mike Sullivan loading up here with Crosby and Malkin. Haven't seen this a lot at 5-on-5 in this series.
Absolutely, nothing doing there. 15 seconds remaining. Letang the hit as Malkin comes back to play. See if the Penguins can get a rush before the end of the period. Here is Malkin passing out to Dumoulin, who will send it around the net with 4 seconds left. Crosby's over here on the half court. The body there cannot find Kessel, and the period comes to an end. Shots on goal in the period. Pittsburgh 13, the Islanders 10, and the Penguins 20 minutes away from elimination. Discover Card intermission report coming up. Leonard leading the Islanders, an interview with the Jets' Kyle Connor, and live action from Columbus. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. Back in Pittsburgh, Penguins trying to avoid elimination, down 2-1. Progressive Insurance brings you inside the glass with Brian Boucher.
Thank you very much, Mike. Second period, the New York Islanders got a bit nicked up during that period. Cal Clutterbuck took a slash from Phil Kessel, and he ended up leaving the Islander bench. Same with Johnny Boychuk, took one off the instep or the lower part of the leg. You can see he hobbled off the ice. Jordan Eberle as well took one. He has returned. However, Cal Clutterbuck and Johnny Boychuk have not returned to the Islander bench to start this third period, so we will continue to monitor that situation. But if it stands like this, the Islanders will be down 2 players.
Yeah, and Leo Komarov is on the ice along with Cizikas and Matt Martin to start this third period. It has been Clutterbuck who has been along with this line, so we'll see if this Islander team, which has been deep and solid and strong, can hold up without 2 skaters on the bench to start this third period. Penguins need a goal to force overtime, 2 to keep the series alive. Otherwise, the season ends tonight. Islanders control here early on. This is Martin sending it towards the net, and now Pittsburgh comes back the other way. A lot of ice time for Crosby, as you would expect. You'll see that to continue in the third. Here comes Simone, who is now playing with Crosby and Gensel for Pittsburgh since middle of that second period. Islanders sent it all the way down, and icing is called. Let's take a look at the playoff profile with insights from SAP. And Edzo, this is one of the things we were talking about. Barry Trotz has been wheeling out lines. That Martin Cizikas Clutterbuck group is called the fourth line, but you see, in even strength time on ice, they were second in this series coming into tonight.
Now you have to move guys in and out, and as the game goes on, the verbiage on the bench will be short shifts, so up and down and off, probably 25-30 seconds, and go from there.
Kessel couldn't get it nearby. Malkin tried to send it towards the net. It goes off the window, and the Islanders try to clear, but cannot. Kept in by Schultz. Here is Malkin coming across ice. It is Johnson. Throws it towards the net. It is intercepted by the Islanders. Does not get through, but taken away here by Malkin. And the Islanders are right there. They seem to be in the right place at the right time throughout this series. Comes all the way down just to the right of the goalpost, and it is icing.
The Zone is blowing up the fight game. Stream over 100 fight nights a year without the pain of pay-per-view. It's the dawn of a new era. Bye-bye, pay-per-view.
So between periods, a lot of you were watching the game in Columbus. Blue Jackets up 4-3, 4:20 left. The Lightning, a record-setting season for Tampa. The President's Trophy winners about 4 minutes away from the first tee. A very shocking result in that series. We'll keep you updated on that. Penguins trying to keep the season alive. Send it back to Uniondale for a Game 5 on Thursday. Komarov dumps in for the Islanders. Brian Dumoulin is back for it for Pittsburgh.
The Islanders don't want to sit back and allow the Penguins free opportunities to play in the defensive zone of the Islanders. So you got to pick your spots, know who's on the ice, but continue to stay with it even though you are short on that bench.
I agree with you, Edzo. I think this is all about structure versus desperation. And the Penguins have to be desperate in this period. Defense have to activate, but the Islanders have to rely on their defensive structure that's been so good so far.
Give away there. Bailey has it. Saw nothing. Possess it. Kill some time. Back to Devon Taves. Taves moving it forward. Here comes the Islanders. Everly back on the ice, as Bush told you before the period started. Sends it cross ice to Adam Pelech. Pelech put it towards the net. It deflects upstairs and out of play. Faceoff will stay down here in the Penguin zone. So Barry Trotz told us this morning about Christmas time last year on the way to the Stanley Cup with Washington. He said, you know, that's when everybody got it, because the Caps were hurting, really wounded for what happened in the prior series, the end of the 2017 season with Pittsburgh. But around Christmas time, they started to pick up that defensive mentality and all the small things that carried them to the Stanley Cup. This Islander team, you know, when you got a guy whose name's on the cup and he's in front of the room with a ring, you listen to what he says. And they started that way from the go. And it's the reason the Islanders have had this unbelievable season and a chance to sweep the Penguins here tonight.
It's not pretty. I mean, it's not how, it's just how many wins that you can get and get the job done. And everybody has bought in. Your most highly skilled players and the guys that play that way on a nightly basis.
Here is Nick Leddy at the point, moving across to Taves. Taves throws it towards the net, deflected, and it was able to be turned away by Murray. Islanders back on it. The backhander by Bailey goes wide. Taves throws it towards the net. Nothing happening. And Hornquist will come get it. You can hear the Penguins fans almost as the Penguins come to it. Come on, get to it. Get something going. Islanders just turn it back the other way. It was such strong play. Barzal from the top. Taves drive is deflected. Murray getting tangled there on the deflection with Pettersson.
That almost went in off of Pettersson after that initial shot from Taves on the back end. I think also, too, Mike, when you look at the Islanders, there's so many guys that have had success at the highest level. Not only Lou Lamoriello, the general manager, Barry Trotz standing behind the bench, but a lot of players with cup rings. And here's that rebound off of Murray, off of Pettersson, and then back into the blue paint. A good opportunity off a simple play from Barzal to Taves and some net front presence.
Matt Cullen, 42 years old. Is this his final game? On the draw with Komarov. And Cullen able to win it, and the Penguins advance it out as Rusk controls, but he has it knocked away. Taken away by Beauvillier. And out of play on the deflection.
Nice play by Gudbranson there.
Well, and Brian Rust having difficulty with the puck in his own zone, and see Beauvillier right here does a good job of stripping him. Good relentlessness, I can't even say the word, by Beauvillier. But you know, you check hard, you get on guys. You talked about it earlier in the game, Mike, and it's constant. I mean, it doesn't stop for 60 minutes. The Islanders just continue to come at you and make it difficult for you just to even get out of your zone with the simplest of plays.
Komarov wins the draw here, Bush, and at the point, Pulock didn't have a shot, carried it deep, able to get possession back. Islanders just quicker to everything. Here is Fopula. Valtteri Fopula leaves nicely. Pulock to the point. It is deflected over to Letty, who will just send it to the corner, and Zach Aston-Reese will get it for the Penguins from Staten Island. He'd like to go back to Long Island for Game 5 on Thursday night. Islanders want to end it right here and shake some hands in about a half hour. Out of the corner, it is Pettersson, and Goodbranson back behind the net. Tries to move it down, and this will be icing on the Penguins. 3:55 gone by. With Xfinity XFi, you get Wi-Fi speeds worth celebrating. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is XFi. Meantime, Columbus has scored an empty net goal with 1:53 left. They have taken a 5-3 lead on Tampa, and it looks like the Columbus Blue Jackets will sweep John Cooper's President's Trophy winning team in a stunning 4 games, Edzo.
Well, they had an opportunity last year against the eventual Stanley Cup champions, winning 2 games in Washington, close games, both overtime, and then eventually losing that Game 3 at home. And a year later, same position, and they get the job. It looks like they're going to get the job done here with not a lot of time remaining with a 2-goal lead.
We'll let you know when it goes final. Meantime, here, the Penguins trying to get some offense mounted, some pressure on. It's Kessel on the half-board keeping. Malkin tries to shake free. It comes across to Letang. Seen a lot of ice time. Letang throws it towards the net. It deflects out of play. And an offensive zone faceoff for the Penguins coming up with 4.5 gone by in this third period.
Good play by Tom Kuhnackel, former Penguin. Did a shot block there, but it looks like he's laboring a little bit as he went to the bench here, the kind of the left side, left arm.
Islanders taking the worst of it here. Kuhnackel, Boychuk, Clutterbuck. We've not seen the last 2 come out after they were injured in the second period. Blue Jackets have scored again, so that baby's over. It's 6-3 there. Blue Jackets will be the first to the second round, as this is offside here. Meantime, the Islander training staff, which is earning its keep here in this third period, looking at the 27-year-old from Germany, Kuhnackel, who won a couple of Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, one of the guys that Lou Lamoriello signed in the offseason, probably would fall into the category of an unheralded sign, but he's been a nice addition to this club, especially in the playoffs. Barry Trotz talked about him being a winner, having won 2 Stanley Cups, so brings that pedigree to the locker room for this Islander club.
There were a few of those, not the headline signings that just jump out, especially on the back pages in New York. I mean, the biggest offseason story with the Islanders was when John Tavares signed with Toronto. And then had to figure out, okay, what was next? But when Trotz got the job, he reached out to all the players, and they said, we're more than Tavares. No disrespect to John, who had one of the great Islander runs, and had that very unique return to Uniondale, where he heard how much he was missed there, because the fans got on him throughout. But you understand it. The passion of the Islander fans, what Tavares meant, they felt hurt. The guy left them, and he was one of their own. But everybody's living happily ever after, at least to this moment. Captured by Pulock. Pittsburgh, 3 Penguins there trying to break it up, trying to get a bounce to go their way. And here come the Penguins with Crosby. Gitzel, save made by Leonard. A terrific setup there. Here's Letang moving it across. Dumoulin. Simone, backhand in front. Pulled down is Crosby. A penalty is coming on the Islanders. Pulock pulls down Crosby, and the Penguins go to the power play.
Well, you heard the guys talk in the studio about the Penguins have to get to the front of the net a little bit more. Crosby takes it upon himself. A battle with Pulock in front of the net. See him get engaged right there. A chance where he fans on it. Eventually Pulock takes him down to draw the penalty. And before that, a good entry by Crosby to find Gensel and a quality save by Robin Leonard. But a big opportunity here for the Pittsburgh Penguins with Pulock in the penalty box to even the score.
Now the Penguins, Mike Sullivan calling over Crosby, trying to give him a little extra breather here. Veteran move by the coach, Sergei Gonchar, longtime NHL defenseman, assistant coach for Mike Sullivan's staff there. Just trying to buy his captain a little bit of time here with a obvious important power play, down one here.
4 forwards and Schultz on this power play for the Penguins. Malkin at the point, works it across to Justin Schultz. Pittsburgh tries to get it set up. Crosby in front. Here is Schultz at the point, throws it in front, save on the rebound, in front, save made by Leonard. Pittsburgh still at it. They move it to the side. Mayfield was stunned for a minute, knocked down, got back up. He got in the way. Penguins maintain the zone. Schultz fakes it. Malkin, shot deflected by Pelech. Back behind the net, it is Kessel trying to move it out front. Could not do it. Islanders break out. 3-on-2 for the moment. Komarov just throws it on the net, blockered away to the corner by Murray. Islanders change. Penguins keep the #1 power play unit on.
Well, I think that may have been stopped by Mayfield. We'll have to take another look at it, but boy, what a great chance for the Penguins.
Gensel pushing it low. Malkin back behind the net. Kessel buzzing there with him. Tries to get to it before Kuhnhackl does. He does, but Pelech is there to knock it out of harm's way and to the neutral zone. It is over. In Columbus, the Blue Jackets have swept the Lightning. Islanders trying to do the same. Here comes Nelson moving in. Brock Nelson turned away. As this power play down to 41 seconds. Chris Letang behind the goal. Penguins catch their breath. Fans try to urge them on. Here's Nick Bjugstad for Pittsburgh. Working into the zone, out to the point. It is Letang. He is looking at space. Hornquist back to Letang. Letang moves it to Bjugstad. Moving in front, the shot save. Rebound is loose and cleared by the Islanders. 7 left on the power play. Letang knocks it over to Bjugstad. The left skate to push it to the stick. The paddle tells you the penalty is about to expire. Teams back at even strength. Islanders have killed it off. Can McCann do anything in front? Swept out of trouble's way by the Islanders, and the penalty's coming up here on the Penguins.
Looks like Bjugstad's going to go.
And look out, Bjugstad trying to take Mayfield with him, and a good job by Scott Mayfield just to skate away to not get baited into coincidental minors, as the Islanders with the lead will go on the power play.
Well, the Penguins certainly had a chance on the power play, but a terrific save by Scott Mayfield and Robin Leonard. Good stuff.
And that the Capitals Hurricane series will continue in Raleigh. Islanders on the power play, leading by 1. Taves to Eberle, who scored earlier to tie it at 1 in the first period. In front, no Islander there, and Pittsburgh softly plays it out to the neutral zone. Cullen gotta look for some offense here. This is offsides. Edzo, while we have a second, you just need a comment from you on the Blue Jackets with a stunning result. Not that they won the series, well, that's stunning enough, but a sweep too.
Yeah, it's caught everybody, including the Tampa Bay Lightning. But look, they were the better team. I mean, after period 1 of game 1, when they had the 3-0 lead, and Sergei Bobrovsky made an incredible save on Nikita Kucherov in that game 1, period 2, early to go up 4-0. They get up 4, they're probably not winning, but they made a save, they scored a goal, gained some confidence, and they haven't looked back since. So you talk about a game or a series changing, maybe in a franchise-altering type of play. You can look to that play depending on what happens moving forward. But congratulations, as you mentioned, Mike, to the Jackets.
Islanders gain the zone with Eberle coming back to Taves at the point. Cross ice in front, Lee takes it back behind the net. Eberle couldn't get to it, but it is kept in by Taves. Power play down to a minute 5 as Josh Bailey works it. Nice setup for Taves getting deep. Eberle's drive is deflected. Eberle back on it.
Letang with the block.
Taves again. Eberle one more time. Taves one-timer, doesn't get through. Cullen got his stick in there, but his stick was broken along the way, so he cannot come along with Rust on this offensive foray. Rust has it swiped away, and the Islanders come back the other way as both teams change. Barzal spins and turns and maintains possession. Beauvillier for the Islanders. to Phil Pullock. Pullock was coming down looking for the one-timer. Couldn't get it to him. Now he has it. And swings it over to Letty. Lavillier in front, tried the deflection, and it almost went in off the skate of Jack Johnson. It was stopped by Murray.
We talked a lot about the shot blocking of the New York Islanders in this series, but Christopher Letang with a shot block 10 feet out in front of Matt Murray. And unfortunately for the Penguins, Matt Cullen blocked that shot, broke his stick, so Brian Rust was all by himself. And look at all of those power play guys coming back for the Islanders. 4 guys back against 2, and you like the chances of the guys in white on that type of play.
I was going to say 18 skaters playing 200 feet, but they're down to 16 right now. Kyle Clutterbuck, Johnny Boychuk have not returned for the Islanders. Clutterbuck came out while we were away the last commercial, but was not able to stay out and went right back to the room. Penalty over, teams at even strength. Penguins now halfway through the period as this puck deflects off the netting and out of play. 9:47 for the Penguins to save their season, and for the Islanders to maybe sweep Pittsburgh.
Currently airing on CNBC, Mike. You got Game 4, Blues and Jets coming up after our game next on NBCSN. San Jose and Vegas Game 4, and if necessary, if Penguins come back here, it'll be Game 5. Islanders, Penguins.
Penguins fans doing their best to keep their team involved here, trying to help them out. A couple of Penguins in front of the net. That shot does not come through. And on the boards, 3 white shirts for the Islanders. Get it, send it into the zone. As Letang slaps it out towards Crosby at center. Sidney Crosby still no points in terms of goals. 1 assist, that first assist on the Gensel goal early in the first period. But that is it for Crosby. Kept down to the goal scoring column in this series. 9:15 to go. Brian Dumoulin back with it for the Penguins. Islander goals from Eberle to tie it at 1. And Brock Nelson, the go-ahead goal, maybe the series clincher at 12:06 of the first period. No scoring since. Kessel on it for Pittsburgh. Sends it deep. Malkin and Rust go back behind. Islanders come away with it. Kuhnhackl clearing out of the zone, into center. Brock Nelson escapes. Here's Nelson moving in. Nelson has it knocked away.
Beautiful recovery there by Jack Johnson. Looked like he was beat. Head first dive. He got the puck, took away a quality chance for Nelson.
Who's quiet down there on that Penguin bench?
Yeah, it is quiet down here. It's odd. I mean, you figure down by a goal, you think the guys would be fired up. It's not the case. I mean, it just seems like there's no life down on this Penguin bench, and it seems to be translating on the ice as they just seem to be frustrated in the fact that they just can't get the quality looks that they want to get.
Islanders have taken the belief out of this Pittsburgh team as this series has gone on. Nick Bjugstad at center. Bjugstad over the line looking for space. Turns and shoots. Save made on the rebound. Tight to the post was Leonard. Shutting down Hornquist. Face off deep in the Islander zone.
Well, let's take a look at some of the chances that the Pittsburgh Penguins did have in this hockey game. Hornquist early on with a redirect that Leonard was able to turn aside. Garrett Wilson with a couple of chances around the net. Crosby hit the post on a beautiful feed from behind the net. And then Kessel on the power play here in this third period was not able to put that one home. And this is the most recent one by Patrick Hornquist off the initial chance by Nick Bjugstad. It's been a frustrating night for the Penguins. It's been a frustrating series. Only 6 goals scored for the Penguins' high-powered offense. You'd have to think that it's getting to the point where they are almost at wit's end with trying to figure out Robin Leonard and the Islander defense.
Crosby and Filppula on this draw. One by Crosby to Gensel. He couldn't get a shot off. Sends it back to the point. Letang's drive doesn't come through. Carried out by Komarov. And the Islanders again clear the zone. Dumoulin has it knocked away.
Good recovery there by Crosby because that puck was going right out the Filppula.
Malkin taking it forward, and they are offside. So here is Malkin out there with Crosby and Gensel again, like you saw late in the second.
And to your point, Bush, and that replay package you just showed everybody, they've had some good looks, right? Like they've had some quality chances, not a lot of second and third chance opportunities. And If things stay this way, everybody will be looking at, do the Penguins have the type of players to be able to play playoff hockey on the offensive side of it? We know that one of their Achilles heels is on the back end, but to get to the front of the net, get to the traffic areas, willing to pay a price to get to the front of the net and score one of those off your face like Joe Pavelski did earlier in the playoffs, or maybe one going off the backside. But second and third chance opportunities, got to find them in the playoffs, and you got to put them in. When you get the chances and the doors open, you got to walk through.
Islanders have it here. Nick Leddy from the circle. His shot is taken by Murray and covered.
All right, Mike, listen up. You're invited to the most exciting all-day party in sports, the Kentucky Derby, presented by Woodford Reserve, the first Saturday in May on NBC and NBCSN all weekend long. Part of NBC Sports Championship season, presented by Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Lemonade. Boosh, Mike and I are going. You want to jump on or what?
I'd love to.
All right, Boosh.
Is that an invite?
We'll put you in. We'll put you inside the stall. How's that?
Well, one of the top choices to win the Derby is a horse named Game Winner. Right now, Brock Nelson would have the game winner and the series winner, unless Pittsburgh can come back and tie it. 7 minutes left here in the third, but the Penguins can get no zone time on the offensive end. Islanders one chance, and that is it. It's back the other way. Goodbranson to Pettersson, who played 84 games this season after the trade from Anaheim.
And a big hit, Cizikas on Pettersson.
And the Islanders still down 2 men because of injury here in the third. But the 16 skaters are doing exactly what the 18 skaters have done for 3 games and 2 periods. It deflects in front. Bouncing puck could not be controlled by Lee, but down low it is Cizikas. Sending it out to the point. Working it back down low. Leddy, good move. Eberle, I should say. He has it knocked away, and Pittsburgh will come back the other way. It is Pelech stopping it. Gensel going through the 2 defensemen. Pulock trying to find it underneath him, and the Islanders have it come to their stick and come away with an odd man rush for the Islanders. Here is Pelech sending it in front. Centering pass. Here is Eberle. He hit the post. That could have been the series. Eberle, a great chance there. Islanders on it again. Barzal streaking in front. No shot attempt, but the Islanders maintain possession inside of 6 minutes left. Taves thrown in front by Mayfield. Turned away, and Pittsburgh just trying to get out of the zone. Now they need to try to think about scoring. Kessel again loses control. Islanders get it right back. Stifling defense. Kuhnhackl, the spinning move. Backhand save. Rebound gets knocked away as Bailey tried to score a backbreaker.
What a beautiful play there from Kuhnhackl.
Here is Kessel moving in. Phil Kessel holds, waits, tried to get it down low to Hornquist, or rather to Bukestad. He could not. It comes back to the point to Jack Johnson. Johnson walks the line, tried to throw it in front, couldn't do it. Chased down by Rust. Bukestad, big and strong, trying to stay on the puck. Pushed off it. In front, the chance. It goes wide as Leonard was covering as much of the net as he could.
That was Johnson, the defenseman, jumping in there, caused some confusion for the Islanders in their own zone, Mike, and created a great chance by the good read there from Johnson.
Inside of 5 minutes, the final 5 brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. As the Islanders are on their way, if they can close down the Penguins here for the final 4:40 of this one. Trying to get a sweep of a series for the first time in a third of a century plus. 1983 against Edmonton in the Stanley Cup final, the last of the 4 consecutive cups won by the Islanders. Penguin fans not giving up on their team. Leonard slows things down. 4:22 to go. Almost a backbreaker here for the hot man of the series, Eberle. The post denies him. Pittsburgh stays within 1. Postseason has been Pittsburgh's time of late. It used to be the Islanders' time back in the 80s. Maybe the rules are changing. Penguins trail the Islanders 2-1, trying to stay alive, send this game to overtime, send this series back to Long Island, but the Islander defense one shot and done again with 4:15 left. Pittsburgh's Chris Letang back in his own zone. Malkin back out there with Crosby and Gensel, the big guns for Pittsburgh, trying to get something going here. And here is Evgeny Malkin, leaving for Letang. Cross ice, Dumoulin. Dumoulin turns away. Letang wanted it back. He's got it. Gensel working hard. Here is Malkin. Malkin gets it back. Couldn't get the wood on it. Once again, Dumoulin leaves. Malkin snaps it towards the net. Crosby on the rebound. Can't get it to the goalie. He's down, and the Islanders clear it out of the zone.
Leonard never saw that shot from Malkin. Again, Penguin defenseman circling around in the offensive zone, causing some problems for a team that is shorthanded player-wise for the Islanders, losing a couple players earlier in Boychuk and Clutterbuck.
Crosby on the bench. He'll be back soon. You can bet on that. This one goes up into the netting, out of play, put there by Pittsburgh, so the faceoff comes out of the zone with 3:18 to go.
I'll start thinking, when will Mike Sullivan pull Matt Murray for the extra attacker? There's that shot. Screen in front. Gensel's there. Crosby was there initially. Malkin's the guy out high in the top. It just hits him. Almost hits him right in the pant leg on the left side there. And then Crosby not able to find a second chance opportunity. Going to keep an eye on Murray here once we get around that 2-minute mark. Get your big guys back on the ice. You get Murray off for the extra attacker. You still got a timeout in your pocket. Lots of scenarios here for the Penguins.
Another Islander face-off win. This time Pittsburgh turns it back into the zone quickly. Scott Mayfield back behind the net. Tried to get it out. Pinching is Schultz. Bukestad on it for the Penguins with 3 minutes left. Here is Schultz. Has a good shot. Throws it towards the net. Doesn't get through. Kessel has it. Throws it back. Rust to drive. Nowhere near the net and out of the zone.
Good help by Anders Lee there. He just got his stick into the wheelhouse of Brian Rust and just threw him off enough where he ended up shanking it to the far side. Missed opportunity there. Good try there from Kessel below the goal line.
2:40 left. Penguins change. Hornquist on with McCann. McCann pushing it forward into the zone. Back behind the net to play it is Leonard, who's been stellar in this series. Hornquist works it down low. Spun back by McCann. Dumoulin pinching deep. 2:23 to go. Dumoulin behind the net. Looking for anybody up top. Goodbranson's drive goes wide. Simone on it. Worked it back around. Here's Goodbranson again. Pushing it deep. 2:10 left. As Simone worked it around, but couldn't get in front. Here is Hornquist. Tries to stuff the crease. Can't do it. It's sent back to the point. Dumoulin. Goodbranson loading. Deflected in front. Stopped by Leonard. Back to the point. Goodbranson's stick breaks on the shot. And the Islanders clear the zone, and Goodbranson has to come off as he's lost his stick.
Got to start keeping an eye on Murray now.
1:45. He's looking over for the sign. Penguins get the big guns out. Here we go. Final 100 seconds. Goalie out. Islander goalie Leonard has it. Works it around the window and kept in at the point. Crosby tried to poke it. Taken by Pelech, lost. Crosby has it deflected in the zone deep. Letang keeps it in for Pittsburgh. Down to 1:20 left. Crosby back behind the net. Gensel. Here is Malkin. Up top drive. Letang is blocked away by Leonard. Islanders trying to clear the zone. Komarov does all the way down. It will be icing.
Never hit. It hit the stick.
Oh,
Mike.
it did.
Stopped it from going all the way down. The broken stick of Branson stopped the icing.
1 minute left. Crosby heading into the corner. Bodies Letty. Pittsburgh desperate for a goal. Trying to keep the season alive. Malkin and Gensel back behind the net. Working around to Letang. Letang looking. Gets it to Malkin, who works it back behind the net. In front, it is Crosby. Tries to center. Leonard got a pad on it. And the Islanders clear it. It just misses that broken stick this time. And is iced with 42 seconds left.
Now, the first one hits the stick blade. And now this one goes in between the boards and the stick blade. That would have been icing. That would have been icing, without a doubt. And then the next one ends up going in between. So, you know, you got a timeout here coming from Mike Sullivan. Great defense from Mayfield. You like to see Crosby shoot the puck there. It's always easy to be the Monday morning quarterback after the fact. But there's that play from Anders Lee on Brian Rust. He's going to get a great chance. Barzell with the screen in front. It just misses the net. So a timeout here for the Penguins. Assistant coach Mark Recchi with the dry erase board. Plenty of time here, just some subtle reminders. They've been in a situation before, and for the Islanders' point of view, is understanding routes, understanding off a face-off win, maybe a 50-50 puck. Maybe it's one of those face-offs that are hanging around. You got to get some help. And the reminder for the Islanders, no soft plays. Everything is hard. If you ice it, you ice it. But you don't try to make any flip plays out of your zone. Because usually when you try that and it gets kept in at the blue line, the puck ends up in the back of the net.
You mentioned Crosby. You want to see him shoot there, Enzo? Sidney Crosby, no shots on goal in this game. He has an assist on that first goal, but
bypassed that opportunity there. And again, knowing what he's trying to do, goaltender respects the shooter, tries to get a little too cute and missed the opportunity.
You know, the fans on Long Island, they're standing up in front of their TVs yelling, "Let's go Islanders," as they do at Nassau Coliseum, which might not see another game because they can play round 2 in Brooklyn. They win the faceoff, clear it all the way down and in! And the Islanders look like they've done it. Josh Bailey sends it all the way down and scores the empty net goal. He scored the overtime winner in game 1. He may have scored the sweeping goal for the Islanders.
Well, Enzo, you talked about having an extra guy on the ice for the Penguins and helping out on a draw. It's a lost battle. And Bailey was able to get that loose puck. Watch Kessel doesn't come up with it. Bailey does. And bullseye. The series clinching goal right there for Josh Bailey. And what a series for the Islanders.
And it was Filppula who won the faceoff, and he was 2 for 8 on faceoffs in the game up until that moment. So
that was one of those faceoffs there, Mike, that puck was right off to the side of the faceoff dot. That's one of those 50-50 pucks. If you're Crosby, you're looking for help. If you're Filppula, you're looking for help. Look where this puck goes. I mean, that's one of those 50-50 pucks. And as Bush said, he gets inside position on Kessel. And then he spins him off. Kessel loses his balance, and he hits the center of the net from about 179 feet.
And Barry Trotz and the New York Islanders. Guy was the Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams Trophy winner in the past. Wins the Stanley Cup with Washington last year. Then the two sides go their opposite ways. Trotz is hired by the Islanders and looks like he will eliminate the Penguins for the 2nd consecutive year. Last year with Washington, and he could be setting up, depending on what happens with the Washington-Carolina series, a little reunion with the team that he helped win the Stanley Cup with. What a series that will be. And for the Penguins, the question of what is next. The net is still empty. The shot goes wide from Brock Nelson, and icing is called on the race to the dot with 8.2 as PPG Paint Arena empties for the final time this season. You mentioned Mario Lemieux and the ownership of the Penguins. This has got to be a tough one for them to take.
Yeah, his wife Natalie in the background, also legendary Penguin and New York Ranger, Hartford Whaler, Pierre LaRouche in the back, and no question, Mike, a disappointment for General Manager Jim Rutherford and for Mike Sullivan, and tip of the hockey helmet to the New York Islanders, who just outworked and outwanted the Pittsburgh Penguins in this series. There is no other way around it, and they found a way.
The second time in a quarter century that the Islanders advance to the second round. They have swept the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Islanders' first sweep since 1983. A lot of respect between Mike Sullivan and Barry Trotz. They've met the last 4 years, and the 2nd consecutive year, Trotz eliminates Sullivan's team. And there is Sidney Crosby, held without a goal in the 4 games. You know, it's the second one of the year. 15 series end with a losing end of the handshake for one team. One team wins it all at the end. But this time-honored hockey tradition that goes back approximately to the 30s. Sidney Crosby said it's not casual, but it's cordial. And they have a lot of respect for these Islanders and the job they did. Josh Bailey, the empty netter here, the overtime goal in game 1. And Robin Leonard, who a year and a couple of weeks ago called his goalie coach in Buffalo, said he was in a bad place, ended up finding out he was having a panic attack, dealing with some substance issues, was thinking about taking his life, did a 3-week detox, found out he was diagnosed as bipolar, credits the Buffalo folks, the NHL Players Association, helping him get straight, get his life cleaned up.
And he got an opportunity, right?
Barry Trotz and the Islanders, they trusted him, and here he is. And
with
he
no playoff experience,
Mike.
Mike.
Exactly.
Right? No playoff experience. He comes in, he wins his first 4 games, and
The Penguin fans saw a tremendous series from Jordan Eberle, who scored the game tire. And they will give a salute to their Penguins. And there's the admiration between Leonard and Murray, who's won 2 Stanley Cups.
And they played with the lead, and they didn't chase. They didn't have to open up and play outside of their comfort zone. And look, sometimes it's tough to watch, but they find a way to make it frustrating, play with the lead, have that confidence. They got some timely saves from that man right there.
And as the Penguin fans give a thank you for a season well played, and a classy move by the Penguins to honor their fans, the Islanders, they're moving on. And let's go downstairs to one of their heroes standing by with Brian Boucher.
Thank you very much, Mike. Jordan, a sweep of a team that won 2 Stanley Cups in 2 out of the last 3 years. How did you guys pull this off?
We just stayed above them. Kind of did the same things we kept doing all year. Trying to frustrate teams and play well defensively, and for the most part this series we did that. So we had some timely goals too, and when they scored and we retaliated right back after. So those things kind of suck momentum, especially on the road.
Certainly looked like you guys believed in one another. At what point during this hockey season did you guys start to believe that you could be a team that would be in a situation like this and excel?
Well, early on in the year, we were written off, losing John, obviously, and you guys had us pegged pretty low. But, we had a lot of confidence in ourselves. And I think, once December hit in January, we were getting on a bit of a run. We had the confidence that we could do well. So, we just want to continue to keep playing that way.
Talk about your defense. I mean, is it incredible that the Pittsburgh Penguins didn't seem like they could get inside on you guys? I mean, what was the secret to that part of the game?
It's just the way we've played all well. Barry's put a good system in and structure that, there's not really any gray area. Everyone knows what we're doing, and we kind of just roll 4 lines and win by committee. So, this series is no different.
Talk about your 4 goals in this series. We talked earlier, I think it was after game 1. And, in Edmonton, it didn't go so well for you in the playoffs. This time, a different story. Where's your game at right now as you're going to be heading into round 2?
Obviously when the puck's going in, you get some confidence out of it. But, not just that, but I just feel like we've done a good job of, staying above them. Barry's trusted us to put us out against big lines. And, we're going to need more of that. So, Barzy, myself, and obviously Leasy, we've done a good job of finding some chemistry here the last month of the season, and just want to continue it here in the post.
Well, congratulations on the sweep. Get some rest. We'll see you in round 2.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Boosh. First round pick at Edmonton in 2008. Shutout in his lone playoff appearance, 13 games, no goals. This free agent to be was one of the stars for the Islanders in this sweep. Time now for our sprint 3 stars of game 4. Edzo?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I could pick the stars, I would pick the #1 star, the entire team of the New York Islanders after taking out the Penguins in 4 straight. But Robin Leonard, outstanding. 32 of 33 shots. We just heard from Jordan Eberle, a great game, a great series. And Jake Gensel, the lone goal of the game, what was that, Mike? 35 seconds into period 1.
Correct.
And the Islanders responded right after that. So look, it's hard to explain how good the Islanders are without the puck, but they certainly understand. You heard Jordan Eberle tell Bush, playing on the right side of the puck. They did that all series long and obviously deserve to get to round 2 with the way they performed.
The Penguins led for 4 minutes and 51 seconds.
The goalie pulled longer than that in the whole series.
In the period. You're right. Our final score, Islanders sweep it. They win 3-1. Game 3, Sharks, Golden Knights coming up. Winnipeg and St. Louis now on CNBC with Edzo and Brian Boucher. Mike Tirico, so long from Pittsburgh. And one more time, we send it back to the studio and our host, Liam McHugh. Liam, take it away.
ICENET. Dynasties live here.
And if you want Long Island's best team for insurance, go for National Security Brokerage. You'll feel secure with National Security Brokerage. Let's go Islanders.